Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? My name is Attorney Charles Zavala, your immigration lawyer. Our business is called Zavala Texas Law. We're located here in beautiful Houston, Texas, but we can help you no matter where you are in the USA or even if you're abroad. So normally we do videos about immigration, criminal defense, things that legal areas that we kind of work in. And today's video is going to be about immigration, specifically about something called TPS or temporary protected status, and what's happening right now in the current events that have to do with TPS. Okay, so if you like this video, feel free to watch to the end, share, like, do all that good stuff. Or if you want to schedule an appointment with me, it's going to be that phone number on the screen. All phone appointments are going to be with me via the phone. There's some people out there who are trying to pretend to be our business. If it's not that phone number, it's not us, y'all. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What is TPS? And I'm going to be calling it TPS because it's easier than saying temporary protected status all the time. So TPS is a designation that the U.S. government could put on a group of people from a certain country, right? So normally when they do TPS, they will designate a country, and this will be based off of current events that are happening in that country. Maybe it's political upheaval, maybe it's a huge natural disaster, maybe something happened where these people need to be kind of protected for a little meanwhile. And an example I'll give you, a current one, is because right now the Russia-Ukraine war. So there are many people from Ukrainian refugees who have been granted TPS status, and they are allowed to remain in the USA, right? And there's multiple countries that have this designation. You know, the ones we'll be talking about today will be Haiti, Venezuela, and Ukraine. But long story short, what will happen is if a natural disaster or something that the USA deems that this country should get TPS, if you are in the country at the time they designate TPS, you can essentially be protected from deportation. And the reason why they do this is it's to prevent people from having this Ukraine example I'll give you. Let's say somebody was here in the U.S. visiting, or a student from Ukraine on student visa, and their student visa's up. The USA is going to say, okay, well, we're not going to send you back to Ukraine right now because of that war going on, so we will give you a TPS designation right now. So the TPS designation doesn't get you to a green card. It does not get you to citizenship. It's really just in its name. It's temporary, which is a good and bad thing, because the good thing is, well, people say, well, look, it gives us a temporary relief. We can figure out what we're going to do. Hopefully our country recovers from whatever happened, and then we're able to go. Another great thing is while you're here, you're protected from deportation, right? So that's fantastic. 3, you get a work permit. You're allowed to legally work in the USA with a TPS. So what it'll do is whenever you apply for your work permit, you will have to set the category that you're in under the TPS designation country you have. So one thing that's important to know is not every country has it, right? It's not like, oh, I'm from this country, give me TPS. No, the USA has listed the countries that are eligible for TPS, and it's not that if you're just from that country, you get to apply for TPS and come in. You had to have already been in the USA during that time. So an example, let's just create a make-believe world. Let's say there's a country called Charles country. If USA designates that the country of Charles should get TPS, the moment they announce it, and today is, let's see, what's the date? Today is March 7th, 2025. Everyone who is from the country of Charles that's in the USA today gets TPS. So if you arrive to the USA tomorrow, you're too bad. You have to be there from the date and back. So it's a way to prevent people from now all of a sudden, oh, well, now let me come to the country because they've designated this country as a TPS country. So that's kind of the gist of what TPS is, right? So it's great for people who are trying to figure out, oh, okay, you know, what's going to happen in my country? Am I going to go back? So the examples I want to give you right now, because some of these have been in the current events. So first off, let's start with Haiti. So Haiti got their TPS designation in 2010 when they had a really massive earthquake, and essentially the country was in shambles. So the USA said, look, if you're from Haiti and you're currently in the country of the USA, we will give you what's called TPS, and you can keep on renewing it. So here we are in 2025. They've kept on designating Haiti as a TPS country, which means that those people who were here originally could just keep on renewing, pay their filing fee to the government, pay their filing fee to get their work permit, and keep on able to stay here. Same with Venezuela. So in Venezuela, it's actually in the news because there was 2 TPS designations for Venezuela. There was one in 2021 and one in 2023. You don't really have to worry too much about the details. But long story short, the government said, look, because of the situation Venezuela is in right now with their government, government, if you are here in the country, we will give you a TPS designation. Okay, and then same thing with Ukraine. If you were a Ukrainian and you were in the country, you could get that TPS during the time it was announced. But what's happening now is with the new administration and Trump coming in, so the person who's the leader, the cabinet member for Department of Homeland Security, that's the person who's in charge of USCIS, really, right? Because that's the government branch, the cabinet covers it down. So whenever you get a president who's a lot stricter when it comes to immigration, it's usually the Department of Homeland Security person who's going to send a list of orders or changes that's going to go down. And that's what we've been seeing. So Venezuela has gotten their TPS designation removed for the people who got it in 2023. That's set to expire in April of 2025. So they will not be able to renew it after April 2025. And if they were part of the 2021 TPS designation for Venezuela, it's going to expire later in 2025 year. So that's causing a lot of panic because we have a lot of clients from Venezuela who are saying, well, what happens now? I don't know what we're going to do now. Do we have to go back to our country? What are our options? So you're going to see a lot of this in the news. And when you see that if the administration has taken away TPS, that's what it means. It's essentially removing that designation and saying, okay, once this expires, you got to figure it out on your own. Either go back to your country or you need to change the status or something along those lines. So also, this is also happening with Haiti. Since the original reason Haiti got their TPS was the 2010 earthquake, some people are saying, well, look, it's been 15 years. Like, well, why is this still happening? So, there's been talk about that in the news, whether they're going to get rid of it, whether they're not going to get rid of it, and same with Ukraine. And I would always tell people, wait until you see it in the news as declare that it's passed. Not that they're just talking about it, because people are always going to be talking. People will always be using things as negotiating chips, but until it's been done or it's been formally declared, I would say don't worry about it, right? Because the reason is this, I wouldn't be surprised if these threats of, we're canceling this TPS is just a negotiating tactic to kind of get the other country to kind of maybe agree to certain things you want, and then they will designate TPS again, right? So that's what's going on right now. If you see it in the news about temporary protected status, and now that you know a little bit more about it, listen to the headlines. You'll see how they talk about it. But ultimately, it is a government program to protect a certain group of people from a certain type of country. It's very different from asylum, right? Asylum is just a whole different beast, but this is for people who are in the USA based on a certain time and not to return back to their country. So if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. Watch our videos. We're more than happy to help in any way we can. My name is Attorney Charles Zavala. Thank you. Anything you need, feel free to let us know. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.